Welcome to Memorable Games, a series where I talk about video games that I have a lot of great memories with. In this video, I want to talk about Pokemon, a game franchise that has so many games that this is going to be a lengthy video. So I kind of want to go in order from the main series just so it'll be a lot easier to remember what I was talking about and also to be more organized with this. So Generation 1, Pokemon Red and Blue, a game that I have not owned until later on in the Pokemon series. I would play this game from my friend. It was actually his game, so I would borrow his game a lot. And oh my god, it was one of the best games I ever played as a kid. Everybody would be talking about it. It was like actually really cool to be into Pokemon these days. There was rumors about getting the Mew, getting Misty-No and everything, and I don't know, it just made me want to explore even more about this game. I don't remember who the first starter I had, because I don't know, it wasn't the very first game I owned, so when I played it, I already had, well, my friend started the game already. I would just continue from there, so I never really had a first starter in this game. But knowing myself back then, I would probably go with Bulbasaur, just because I love the grass starters. But knowing myself right now, I would choose Charmander because I love the fire starters. So when these games were out, I didn't know too much about Pokemon. I know exactly who they were and the anime and everything, but the mechanics for it, I did not know how to play it. Back then, I used to think Diglett was weak against fire just because I thought he was a hot dog, and if you burn a hot dog, it'll be bad for them because you get to eat them. So I did not think, he was a ground type. I thought he was like just weak against fire because the way he looked. So that's how I pretty much based off weakness from Pokemon back in the day. I would just look at Pokemon and then guess who they were weak against. Like for example, if I see a bird, then obviously he's weak against the electricity because of lightning. Or let's say there's a Pokemon who's red, like Magmar. Of course you want to shoot it with water because they're weak against water. So I pretty much used my common sense in the beginning. I did own Pokemon Stadium for the Nintendo 64 and I would play it so much. That game was so hard, especially because the rental Pokemon didn't have any good moves. And also I wasn't an expert with Pokemon. I actually thought Tackle was a really strong attack. And with that, I'll go to Generation 2. My first starter for that one was actually a Chikorita. And for the longest time, I had a Meganium. He was almost level 100 and it knew Tackle. I don't know why I taught it Tackle, but I know Body Slam is a lot better move than it. The only reason I knew that I taught it Tackle is because when I was older, I found my old game cartridges. I wanted to play it again just to see what Pokemons I had back then. And I had a Meganium and it knew Tackle. And I don't know why. But yeah, Pokemon Gold version was my very first Pokemon game that I've ever owned. I remember my dad bought me and my brother a Game Boy, and it was Pokemon Gold. I owned Pokemon Gold, he owned Pokemon Blue. And the first time I played Pokemon Gold, it was a file that has already been started, so it was a used game. And when I went to a wild battle, I sent out an Ampharos, and back then I didn't know what it was. I wasn't familiar with Generation 2. I was like, is this a bootleg Pokemon game? I honestly thought that was. But eventually I found out that no, it's the sequel to Red and Blue, which I was actually really happy because I owned a sequel to a game that everybody was talking about. So yeah, I would always choose Chikorita just because I guess the grass star was always the thing I loved. And I would always choose Pidgeot as my second Pokemon. And oh my god, the Pidgeot model for Pokemon Gold and Silver was actually really good. I loved it so much. The back sprite looks amazing. It looks kind of the same in 3rd gen for Ruby and Sapphire, but it looks completely different once you go to Fire Red and Leaf Green. So I would play that game so much. I remember I went to a library once and I saw a friend who was also playing Pokemon. So I told him, let's battle. So back then I would actually use a Typhlosion. So eventually instead of Chikorita I would choose Cyndaquil, and yeah, Typhlosion was my most favorite Pokemon of all time. So I told him once, because after we battled, my Typhlosion was around level 70 or something. And I told him, dude, next time you see me, my Typhlosion is going to be level 100. And eventually I did. I got my Typhlosion to level 100. And it was the very first Pokemon that I've ever gotten to level 100. I was so proud of it. Back then, the League 4 for Gold and Silver, they were so weak. The Pokemon in the Pokemon League were so weak. Lance's strongest Pokemon was a level 50 Dragonite, which, yeah, that's the best thing you could do for experience back in that day. So eventually I went to Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, and out of all the games that I've ever played for Pokemon, Ruby and Sapphire was the most graphical change for me personally. When I saw the doors slide open when you enter a Pokemon Center, I was amazed. I was like, wow. Like, the first time I found out about this game, I saw a friend, he was playing Sapphire version, and I wanted to play that game so bad. I would watch him play all the time. So eventually I ended up getting the game, because back then I had a Pokemon Crystal version, and this was the time where I moved out of my city. So before I moved out, I told my friend if he wants to trade my Pokemon Crystal version for his Pokemon Ruby version. So it was actually a good trade because I got a brand new Pokemon game. So for this one, my starter would be a Torchic. I would actually choose Torchic. I would say maybe Trico, like the first or second playthrough. But after that, I would pick Torchic just because I love Blaziken so much. But don't get me wrong, Sceptile is actually a really good Pokemon. I love him too, especially his Mega Evolution right now. It's my favorite out of the 3 starters. But I would play that game so much. I remember trying to get a Feebas and it would never work out. I just gave up on it. I know there's a certain tile you have to do, but it was so confusing for me. I didn't want to worry about it. I do remember I was trying to get a Bagon. It was so hard. I didn't know where it was. I know you would get it in a cave, but I would always look at the wrong place until eventually I found out where it was thanks to the internet. And then eventually I went to Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. I gotta tell you, Fire Red and Leaf Green was the very last time I was ever hyped, and I mean really hyped for a game in general. Before the game came out, I was already on Fire Red instead of Leaf Green. I wanted that Charizard, in my cover of the game. It was pretty cool. I loved it. The graphics, I was so amazed by the graphics. Because Generation 3, I don't know, I was just amazed with Generation 3. There were so many things you could do with Gen 3. There's already a lot of emulators. There's so many things you could do with Gen 3. But pretty much before the game came out, I was looking at the manual. I bought a manual for it, and I was just reading through it every single day, waiting, counting days until the game came out. And finally, the game came out, and I was so happy. I was so excited when I first started. So for this one, I chose Charmander as my starter. And oh my god, I played through the game non-stop every single day. I still remember I went to the laundromat with my mom, and I was just playing Pokemon right there, and I was having a fun time. I don't know what was it about it, but I was just having a fun time playing Pokemon like on the go outside my house. It was a good feeling. I know they introduced that wireless thing that came with the game so that you could trade it wirelessly without using a link cable, but I never really used it. I don't think it ever worked for me either, but I would always prefer using a link cable for it. I would play that game so many times. I remember choosing a Squirtle, and that would be the only Pokemon I would train. It was a Blastoise, and I beat the whole game just using Blastoise, and it was pretty good. I liked it so much, and I would just replay the game. Okay, so eventually Pokemon Diamond and Pearl were out, and I did not get these games when it first came out. I actually got this game from my friend. It was a couple months after the game came out, and oh my god, I was so amazed by the game. Every time there's a new Pokemon game, I always want it. I'm always so excited. I'm always amazed by the new graphics there is. So my friend had it. He had Pokemon Diamond version, and I don't know, I really wanted the game. I just couldn't afford it. So I begged them to trade me games, I'll give you Pokemon Ruby version if you give me your Pokemon Diamond. I know it's not like a fair trade, but I was trying to convince him so much. I told him I have a shiny Azumarill. Shiny Pokemon are super hard to get. In this game, I guarantee it. Here I showed him all the Pokemon I had. I was willing to give up all of my Pokemon that I've ever trained just so I could get a brand new, well, not a brand new, but start a new game in Pokemon Diamond version. So eventually he agreed, and oh my god, I couldn't even believe that he traded that with me. But I would play Pokemon Diamond so much. I would play it every single day. I was amazed by the graphics. I think out of all the games, the 2D sprites, 4th generation has to be my favorite one, just because it looks really good. Generation 5 actually looks a little bit it looks kind of blocky, just like 1st gen. So that's why I like Gen 4's sprites so much. I think this was the very last time I would use a legendary on my team. I remember using Dialga, and that was the very last time I used a legendary, because every Pokemon game after that, I was just challenging myself like, okay, I don't want to do legendaries because it's just making the game too easy, or I feel like everybody uses it. So I just decided to stop using the legendaries after that. I had so much fun with that game, and I don't know, it was just trading online was my favorite thing. I remember it was Nintendo's Wi-Fi connection, and oh my god, what a disaster that was. But just to play online, I would have to plug in a little USB to my computer so that I could play wirelessly and to the internet. I don't know, that's how it was back in the day. But I was always amazed. And then eventually 5th generation came out, and for this one I was so excited for it, just because I know there was new Pokemon for it, and I was like, I don't know if I like this because it's gonna catch me off guard, but you know what, like, it's something different, I'm willing to do it. So I actually played Pokemon Black version before it came out. It was released as an emulator, and it was in Japanese, so I couldn't go far on it, but eventually there was a translation, so I did manage to beat the game before it even came out. So eventually I bought the game, and I don't know how many times I did it, but I beat the game so many times. The very first time that it came out, the first day it came out, I played it, and I was already familiar with what to do because I pretty much played the game. I felt like, I don't know, I felt so accomplished like playing a game before it came out. So my starter for that was a Snivy. I really love Snivy. I like the grass type Pokemon. It looked really good. Superior looks amazing. But eventually I started using Oshawott. It's kind of weird because Oshawott is like the least good looking out of the 3 starters, but the last evolution, Samurott, was actually one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. It's crazy how like a Gen 5 Pokemon, which is already one of the new Pokemon, is one of my favorite Pokemons. And that game was pretty good. It had well, it didn't have as much post game as the other ones did, especially Emerald version which was the best post game I've ever played. The Battle Frontier, you cannot beat it. You cannot beat Battle Frontier. And especially in Heart Gold version, which, by the way, I forgot to mention Heart Gold version, but that is my favorite Pokemon game of all time. Heart Gold version is my favorite game of all time. I love Gen 2 so much, and the fact that they remade it and made Pokemon Follow You, that is my favorite game. It had the best music, it had the remixed music, it had Pokemon following you, it had events, so many things you could do. You could catch so many Pokemon, and of course it had my favorite Pokemon of all time, which was, it's Quilava, but I mean, I have to evolve it to Typhlosion if I ever want to use it without getting defeated. But anyways, back to 5th gen. Pokemon Black version was pretty good, and eventually Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 came out, and that kind of caught me on guard because usually Pokemon does a 3rd game, just like Pokemon Platinum or Emerald or Crystal version. But Black 2 was pretty much a sequel to Black and White, and I was actually super excited to play it because I gotta tell you, Pokemon Black and White version had the best story out of any Pokemon game, because they're pretty much generic, but Black version was focused on story, and that ending for Black and White was so different than all the other games that I was excited for what Black 2 and White 2 were gonna do. And once again, I played this game, I beat it before the game even came out, so I was already expecting what to do pretty much. It had the same Pokemon, the same starters, but I didn't mind because there were so many different Pokemons you could use. I used Magnezone in this game, and let me tell you, I never used a Magnezone ever in 4th gen, so I used it in this one just because you get a Magnemite early on in the game. And oh my god, Magnezone is a tank. He was one of my best Pokemon in the game, and pretty much it had great post games. It had tournaments, it had the city. But yeah, pretty much I was so excited to play that tournament because it was advertised, and I just wanted to fight against Red and Blue and all the past gym leaders, and it was amazing. It's kind of a shame they didn't bring back the Pokemon contest from Gen 4 because I don't know, I don't like the ones that they feature in 5th gen, which was a musical. It's not really memorable, and also there was a film where you could film your Pokemon. So right after 5th gen came out 6th gen, which was Pokemon X and Y, and oh my god, the graphics for X and Y were amazing. I have not been that amazed since 3rd gen. So I was so excited because for the longest time I really wanted there to be another Pokemon Stadium game, because Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2 are amazing for me. I don't know why, but I don't know why Nintendo or Game Freak doesn't do this. They should make another Pokemon Stadium game to go along with the main Pokemon franchise. Like, I cannot play the original Red and Blue and Gold and Silver without Pokemon Stadium. I don't know why, it's crazy. So Pokemon X and Y came out, and oh my god, my mind was blown so much. There's so many Pokemon you get. They pretty much made the game really easy for you with the experience share. There was the Mega Evolutions, which I love so much. I could not wait until I used Mega Charizard X. That was the #1 Pokemon I really wanted to use because it was a black Charizard. Like, you didn't see a black Charizard since maybe 2nd gen Shiny Charizard. But oh my god, like, I was so excited to use these new Pokemon. And knowing about how to get shiny Pokemon, I was a shiny hunter after this game came out. I was using the Pokemon Radar. I would spend hundreds and hundreds of hours playing this game. I'm looking at my 3DS. I spent over 800 hours, and that was from my personal 3DS. On the 3DS that with the capture card that I streamed a lot in, I'm pretty sure I put a lot more into that. So this pretty much back in the day where I was pretty much streaming on Twitch. I would stream a lot of Pokemon, a lot of shiny hunting. So pretty much what I did is I would shiny hunt a Pokemon, and once I get a shiny Pokemon, I would give it away to the viewer. Because I really didn't care about shiny Pokemon that much anymore because they were pretty much given to you by that point. You would get shiny Pokemons a lot, and they were so easy to get now. So I would do that, and I gotta say, Pokemon is probably one of the biggest reasons why my channel grew a lot. I got a lot of subscribers, a lot of followers just because of Pokemon, and I don't know, I just gotta thank Pokemon so much for that, because with that, Pokemon has a great community, has great people. People always want to battle, they always want to trade. People have great advice for Pokemon. If you go on YouTube, look at tips for Pokemon, people will tell you exactly what to do. And it's amazing, it's a good community. And I hope it continues to keep growing. So eventually the remakes for Ruby and Sapphire came out, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And oh my god, I was so excited for this game. This game, I was so hyped, and mainly because of the secret bases. I love the secret bases so much in the originals that I knew that they were gonna make this online. So I don't know, I was just like, once the game came out, I was so excited. I just want to beat the game, or I just want to get to the point where I could make my secret base because I want people to visit me. And yeah, that's exactly what I did. I posted out my AR code and I visited people's secret base, and all the creativity that people have in their secret bases are pretty cool. There's like so many things. You can make it to a gym, you can make it to a maze, you could just make it to like a personal office, which I do. There's like so many things you could do. And the best thing of all, they brought back the Pokemon contest, which you couldn't do that since Gen 4. And oh my god, I couldn't believe it. I honestly thought they were not going to bring it back, but they did. They bring back Pokemon contest, and I was so happy. I was so into it. It was so many post-game content on it that I did so many things to it. And the new features they added was amazing. So now we get to the recent Pokemon game, Pokemon Sun and Moon, and Ultra Sun and Moon. So Sun and Moon came out. The graphics were even better than X and Y, which was pretty much unimaginable. You would think, can it get any better from X and Y? And yeah, they put full models for your avatar. Maybe less character customization, which kind of sucks. I really want there to be a lot more, but what can you do? Hopefully by the next Pokemon game, like we always do, hopefully by the next game, there's more features to it that they would put in. But once I beat Pokemon Sun and Moon, I know they changed the formula. There were no gyms, there were trials instead, and a lot of people love it. But to be honest, I didn't like Sun and Moon that much. I wasn't that much into it, honestly. I would say it would be my worst Pokemon game that I've ever played. It's a good game, I just was not into it as much. And then here comes Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which are pretty much exactly the same games. They changed a little bit to it, but I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm not into it. Like, I haven't beat the game since it came out. That's how much I'm not into it anymore. I'm not desperately, but I'm waiting for the next Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch. And I'm definitely going to be pretty much recording that, do whatever I can, get more involved with Pokemon. But right now, since Pokemon Sun, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are the thing right now, I'm not really too much into it. Especially since the Switch just came out. Right now, no one really cares about the 3DS. They just want to move on to the Switch. They want to play new games. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm playing new games. So I haven't been into Pokemon that much recently, but I would go back to it, but I wouldn't go to Sun and Moon. I would go back to the older games. But I definitely cannot wait until the new Pokemon game. I'm gonna get hyped as always. I'm always gonna be looking forward to the new changes they always make. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but every time a game comes out, I'm always curious how the animation's gonna look like. Like, let's say you use Water Gun. I want to see how that looks. Or the trainers. I want to see how the trainers move when they first show up, which is pretty cool. I always got into that. And please, I hope the music is badass. Like, I really hope that the battle music is really good, because that is the song you're gonna be hearing a lot in the game. Sun and Moon, they were good, but not that good for me personally. I would say my most favorite trainer battle music would be 4th gen, Diamond and Pearl, because oh my god, I don't know, I love that song so much. I even made it into one of my intros. I really hope the song is really good in this game. And I know Pokemon makes one of the best songs ever, so I'm really excited for what they have to offer. I know I didn't mention other Pokemon games like Pokemon XD or Pokemon Colosseum, which I played a lot. Like, oh my god, I played so much of that, but I just wanted to focus on the main Pokemon series games. It means a lot to me. It pretty much gave me a time waster to do, for sure. I wasted so much time on that, but you know what? It was worth it. Whenever you play a game so much and you play it again and again, you know it's a great game. Pokemon is always the game where I just have to replay it so many times until, I don't know, it's always different. I never get bored of it, except for Sun and Moon, of course. But still, like, it's a game that I love so much, and I hope you guys love Pokemon too. On the comments below, there's like so many different topics of Pokemon. There's YouTube channels that are dedicated to Pokemon, because there's so many things to talk about. What's your favorite Pokemon? What's your favorite shiny? What are your favorite gym leaders? What's your favorite region? There's like so many top 10s you could easily do about this franchise. And I don't know, on the comments below, just tell me something you like about Pokemon, whether it's your favorite Pokemon or what things you love to do on Pokemon games, whether it's the battle tree or the battle frontier, the battle tower, or tournaments, playing online, or anything, pretty much anything at all. Just let me know what you love about Pokemon. I'll let you know right now. My favorite Pokemon is Quilava. My favorite region is the Johto region. It's the first game I've ever owned, so maybe that has something to do with it, but my favorite region is Johto. My favorite game is Pokemon Heart Gold because it's so many features, 16 badges. I love playing online. I know there's competitive people, there's people who love Pokédex, there's people who collect shinies. For me, I'm more of a shiny hunter. I love to collect shinies. But yeah, pretty much I'm gonna go up on this. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys later. Hello. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to see more of my videos, make sure to subscribe to me up here. I would really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.